What is up, people? It is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025, and this is the Insanity Report for today. It is now 11:30 a.m. here in Germany, and we're going to be talking about an article I saw in the Post-Millennial. I'll link it below so you can read it yourself, even though after listening to this, you probably won't need to read it. But I think there's also a picture of the person that I'm going to talk about there, so you get to see that this person, just on looks alone, matches the description of what he's doing perfectly. So in Boston, at Boston University, which considers itself prestigious, the BU stands for Boston University, but should actually stand for Bullshit University, because they are coming out this semester with a new class. It's called Medieval Trans Studies. Okay? Yeah, Medieval Trans Studies, or Trans Medieval Studies, whatever. Okay? And in the article, it tells the name of the assistant professor guy, which looks like a complete woke lunatic who has also taught other nonsensical bullshit queer subjects and is now going to be teaching a course in medieval trans studies. But that's not the worst of it, right? That's not the worst of it. It also counts as a credit towards a PhD in English. So somehow Boston University has been able to make the mental gymnastics to make medieval trans studies have something to do with English, which of course it absolutely doesn't. Now, first of all, I want to say, and a lot of videos that I'm going to be making from here on out are going to be geared towards this topic, which is the citizens now taking the reins in our societies and bullying this woke nonsense out of power, off their pulpits, and back into their boxes where they belong, right? Donald Trump's been elected. That has now shown basically everybody in the Western free world that, okay, we are as citizens pretty much all alike. These elites and establishment politicians have been fooling us for years. The woke people are the minority, and their ideas are lunacy, and we're actually right for not falling for it or not wanting to be a part of it. And it's fine if they're woke, but they can be woke in their own areas, in their own spaces, their own shit, and we don't want to be bothered with it any longer. So we don't want wokesters making policy. We don't want them in any power. We don't want them teaching our kids, and they can be as woke as they want to be by themselves and with their woke buddies, but they have no influence or no control over our lives in general whatsoever. That's the message that's been sent with Donald Trump's re-election. But you can't expect Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Vivek and J.D. Vance to crusade around the planet and stomping out every woke person or person in a position of influence, or professor or whatever on the planet. They're not going to do that. They're going to broadly make policy and laws that support us instead of them, right? And it's going to be us to us as a society to squash this woke bullshit once and forever. And the way to do it, I describe over and over again, is to not be scared of them, number one, because they are basically meaningless lunatics. They are on the flat earthers level. There is no reason to take anything that any of these people say seriously whatsoever. And it's time that we start showing them that we won't. And it's time we start bullying them like kids on the playground. They have to be made aware they are no longer in the cool kids position, right? That is done. And if they fuck off on their own with tail tucked between their legs, fine, we don't have to run after them. But those that demand to stay in position and continue to demand to push this woke shit on a majority group of people who doesn't want anything to do with it is no longer acceptable, and we have to take care of it as a society. We must root the woke out. We must slit the woke ideology's throat forever. It's gotta die, right? Either it dies or it goes in the same corner as Scientology and Tom Cruise and his big fucking stupid metal. As long as we're not bothered by him, it's fine, right? But they have no control over our lives, and they shouldn't have any control over our lives, and it's up to us to make sure that they never will again. Okay? The mandate is clear. So, Boston University making a medieval trans studies program that actually counts as a credit towards an English PhD, which neither one of those things I'm so sure is going to get you that great of a job. We don't really need PhDs in English. You know, if you're going to be an English professor, if you're going to teach English to people who can't speak English, or if you're going to be a writer, maybe that's important. But I don't have a PhD in shit, and I'm a writer. You know what I mean? You know, any of the shit that you would need to learn for a PhD in English, you could probably learn it from YouTube or you know, other sources. You don't need a Boston University degree. Now, I know that degree is important to people, but you should earn it. And you don't earn it by going to classes about medieval trans studies, right? Where they learn about, and this is literally some of the subject matter, they're going to learn about gender fluid angels and trans saints. Listen, first of all, I don't think that these people existed in the amount of, you know, in the numbers that there is a worthy subject of history study on them. You know what I mean? I think that the whole notion of medieval trans studies is utterly ridiculous. And even, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, there were, you know, many trans saints and many trans eunuchs and fucking, you know, lesbians of gender fluid color, or whatever the fuck they're talking about, right? Let's say that's all true. Let's say medieval times was full of them. Who gives a fuck? What good does it do us today to know anything about that other than their accomplishments, right? And medieval studies is important, you know, because you learn from history mistakes and accomplishments made, right? I don't care if a trans eunuch of color with, you know, fucking lesbian tendencies did it. I don't care. I don't care if it was a black guy. I don't care if it was a short guy. I don't care if it was a dwarf or an elf. I don't give a fuck. I want to hear about accomplishments, you know, great things done, you know, civilizational conquests. That is important about medieval studies. The trans aspect of it is absolutely and utterly useless. And the only reason things like this are made, things like these courses are given, is because these people want to virtue signal and still try to push this trans ideology nonsense down our throats, but then through education is what they call it, right? Okay, no. If you are a person that has a kid going to BU, right? And you are paying for their education, and you do not believe in this woke BS, then it is on you right now to grow a spine and a pair of balls, right? And say, listen, kid, you will not take that course or any course like it. You will go to that school and use the money that I pay for your education in a way that was going to guarantee you or give you the best leg up for the best kind of job in the field you want to be in. But gender trans studies is not a field I'm going to pay for. So if you want to do that class, you fucking pay for it. But if you do it, you pay for your whole education. Okay? I am not investing my hard-earned money into some woke BS nonsense that, hey, if you really want to know about the trans medieval people, if it's that big of a thing, it's somewhere on the internet. You'll be able to find it. You don't need this woke loser fucking dildo professor who teaches other queer monetization or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? You don't need him to learn about that shit. You've got all the knowledge in the world basically at your fingertips. If trans medieval people were that big of an influence on our culture today or on any accomplishments we've made today, then you can find out about it by doing your own research. You don't need me to pay for that class. So it's up, like I said, up to the regular people to say no. You can't sit there and say, yeah, Trump, all right, yeah, anti-woke, I hate it. But still go, yeah, but okay, but I'm going to pay for my kids' woke bullshit education. No, that's unacceptable. That's traitorism. that's traitorism to the cause at this point. Because in this specific case, you don't have to worry about losing your job. You don't have to worry about any fucking backlash. You are the king or the queen of this decision. Anybody paying for a college education for a child that goes to Boston University who is not on board with the trans shit, which I'm sure is most of them, or not on board with the woke shit, which I'm sure is most of them, right? Then it is up to you to play your part in making this nonsense stop. You know what I mean? About, well, my kid, hey, listen. If your kid is that ungrateful that they will disown you or turn their backs on you or threaten you in any way because you refuse to go along with their easy credit woke bullshit, then if it was my kid, I would revoke all of the tuition immediately, kick them out of my fucking house and say, hey, if you think you know it all and if you think you know it better, then get the fuck out and figure it out. Now, when I was a kid, I hated that. I hated hearing shit like that from my parents. But I have to say, they were right, okay? And not only were they right, even if they weren't, it's still their money. Hey, if you don't want to be told what class you can take by your parents who are paying for your shit, then pay for your own shit, all right? No problem. But you, as students, cannot demand from your parents, unless they're weak-kneed, ballless, toothless pieces of shit, that they're going to pay for shit like this. So people, Boston University, medieval trans studies, no. Not paying for it, not fucking paying for anything that has anything to do with it, or any course like it. It's complete nonsense. This is a completely made-up course. This is made up, right? This is made up. Not only does this assistant professor not know that if there were trans saints or not, he can interpret whatever he wants out of whatever literature or whatever history book he can find. He can make the interpretation that these people were trans because of something they wrote or something they said or the way they wore their hair. Look, this is all bullshit. It's all woo-woo, bullshit, BS, virtue signaling nonsense. And it is another reason why I'm bringing it up. The reason why this video is being made today about it is because I want to continue to point out, if you don't want the woke shit and you know you're in the majority against the woke shit, then stop letting it happen. Stop looking to everybody else to fight off the woke, right? Do your part. Wokeness is not cool. We don't like it. And we're going to show these motherfuckers at every opportunity that we don't like it. And then the choice is theirs. They can continue trying and getting met with more and more harsh resistance up to and until the point of violence, or they can tuck tail, shut up, and go hang out with their own woke buddies. Then they'll be left alone. That's it. Boston University is trying to go against the mainstream, right? They're trying to go against the mainstream. They're coming out with these bullshit programs, bullshit courses, because they want to virtue signal to the last of the woke that are out there that are going to be willing to admit it. Hey, we're still a safe haven for this bullshit, right? We'll gladly take your money and corrupt your kid's mind with nonsense bullshit about medieval trans studies. Fuck off. They should be laughed at. You know what I mean? They should be laughed at. And look, to be honest, on the federal level, on the government level, on the political level, things can also be done about this, right? But we have to do our parts. But things can be done about this on the political and governmental level. You see, there is no reason these schools should be publicly funded or get any type of donations from the government if they teach courses that have to do with absolute nonsense. Medieval trans studies is one of those. Guys, if you are watching this on any other platform except for Substack, then go ahead and follow me there. But go ahead and go to the Substack and subscribe. The links are below here. And you can do it for free, and you can do it also for $5 a month. Either one is fine, even though, of course, I would appreciate $5 a month. That would be great. And also the paying subscribers get a couple perks that the regular subscribers don't get. Then you can subscribe below. That's the way to get all my content, because I write articles, I do different kinds of videos on different topics, mostly political, but I do those and they all go to Substack, but not all of them make it on other platforms. So like TikTok does not get a percentage of the videos that I make, because if I say one word about trans shit, this one will probably also get banned. But they basically ban everything that has to do with trans or Muslims and Islam terrorism, because they don't want to offend the Muslim community. They're pretty sensitive, right? Facebook seems to be turning over a new leaf, so that's great, right? But the best way to get all my content is subscribe below at the Substack for free or for $5 a month, and then you'll be guaranteed to get everything I do delivered directly to your inbox. You can filter from there. So guys, that's the Insanity Report for today. Check it out, share it, laugh at it, and check the one out for tomorrow, when we're going to be talking about a couple of other new and insane things that have definitely happened in the next 24 hours. All right, guys, have a good one. See you tomorrow.